According to the Pew Hispanic Center study published last June, education is extremely important to 94% of Latino voters, ahead of healthcare, the economy, and immigration. Latino students already outnumber white Americans in K-12 classrooms in the western part of the U.S., and their numbers are increasing in other parts of the country as well. However, the fastest growing population in U.S. public high schools is also the most underachieving. At the current graduation rate, only 5 in 10 Hispanics will graduate from high school.
Most of the Latinos go to schools in major cities, which is where they live. And many of those schools don't have enough money to provide adequate resources in terms of experienced and qualified teachers, equipment and labs, and all of the resources that are needed for a quality education.
Many families around the country believe the high dropout rate, particularly in high schools, is the greatest education challenge they face today. For Anthony Colon, director of the Hispanic Council for Reform and Educational Options, the first step to tackle this problem is to give more school choices to our community.
What we mean by that is that there are other options besides the traditional public school system. There are charter schools, there are scholarships, there are vouchers, there are tax credit programs. There are a number of options that we want to make available to our parents and our children. And that will help. We're not suggesting that they will replace the public school system. But while we're trying to repair the traditional public school system, we need to introduce all those options to our community.
These educational choices have become a central issue for both presidential candidates. Republican nominee John McCain wants to expand these opportunities, partly through vouchers and tax incentives for low-income families to send their children to private schools.
I want every American family to have the same choice that Cindy and I made, and Senator Obama and Mrs. Obama made as well. And that was, we wanted to send our children to the school of our choice. And charter schools work, my friends. Homeschooling works. Vouchers in our nation's capital works. We've got thousands of people in Washington, D.C. that are applying for a voucher system.
Barack Obama wants also to provide more school choices for minorities and talks about reforming the No Child Left Behind Act while focusing on early childhood education.
We all want high standards. We all want a world-class education. We all want highly qualified teachers in the classroom. Making a promise to educate every child with an excellent teacher is right. Closing the achievement gap that exists in too many cities and rural areas is right. More accountability is right. Higher standards are right. But I'll tell you what's wrong with No Child Left Behind. Forcing our teachers, our principals, and our schools to accomplish all of this without the resources they need is wrong.
But educational challenges don't end at the public school level. They continue with college opportunities. Compared with whites, blacks, and Asians, Hispanics have the lowest percentage of students enrolled in college and the smallest number of graduates with a bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree.
Right now, our biggest concern is that the price of us going to any university in the United States is over $10,000 for a year, for a semester. The prices that people have to pay for tuition to get into a college is absolutely outstanding. And I don't mean outstanding in a good way, in the most horrible way you can imagine. We'd like to stay here and study and continue to our master's, doctorates, or an associate's degree, but it's very, very expensive.
With Hispanics at the bottom of the ladder for educational success, Latino voters are specifically looking for a presidential candidate who will help them climb it.